Dad started pulling in 1973 with a diesel super stock.
Right.
Had some help from Noble Harrison and a few others at Alice Chalmers, and that his dad was a dealer for Alice Chalmers equipment, and they got a little factory help there for the first year or so, and then all of a sudden the lawyers kind of got involved and wanted no part of any motorsports or whatever. So
right.
Then instead of getting a little help from them, the parts just kind of showed up a little bit. Didn't come from them. But so Dad started then, and he's progressed and had different tractors along the way, and I got old enough to drive and was lucky enough to get in. And since then, since I started in '95, I believe it was, at Galix, Virginia, and had a 4-charger Alice diesel at the time. Since then, I think we've built about 6 different tractors. Buy and sell, different engine combination programs, etc.
Big tractors, right?
Big tractors,
Big
yep.
tractors.
And then here, a couple years ago, we added a Mini on, and then last year we added a second Mini. I bought a spare motor when we bought the first Mini, thinking that, oh, we're probably gonna tear up a lot of this stuff too. And I gotta say, that Brad Anderson motor is pretty tough. I mean, it's a lot of fun. We've learned a lot with it, and we're running with some really good tractors, and just proud to be able to be part of the bunch. We have 2 big tractors. We are only running the one currently because the other tractor has electronic fuel injection on it, and at NTPA it's not legal. So we had intentions of getting it back out, but the Pro Pulling League had a little changing of the guards, and that it concerned us as to spending a bunch more money with, if something happened there, not having any place to go with it.
Right.
So that's why it's sitting at this time. Plus, there's not enough hours in the day.
Right. Yeah. And the older you get, the less hours you have. Fort Clinton?
Still have the shop. It's mostly lawn and garden now. We also farm some acreage in the area up there. Mostly soybeans, a little bit of corn, a little bit of wheat. There's a few more of the mini pullers and that out there, and that. It's been awesome to be taken in with everybody and having a good time and drinking a beer, and they're cooler, whoever. The one thing I dreaded when we was bringing the minis on was having to run on 2 different tracks at the same time. The very first points event I go to with 2 tractors in the trailer, the Mini was on this track and the big tractor was on that track. I looked at John Mears, I said, which do you want first?
They were up at the same time.
The exact same time. The very first event, like I said, my biggest fear came true the very first time out. I'm going, boy, this is gonna be a long summer. But it worked out, and he kind of shook his head and he's like, which would you rather run first? I said, I'd rather run the Mini, because if it's a wild ride or whatever and that, I'm pretty comfortable on the Super. I can just get on and it's natural. I said, I go over and screw the Super up, I'm gonna be worried about what went on there
right.
while I'm trying to drive the Mini. So
right.
It worked out.
And nobody can get off a tractor out of a harness faster than Jeff Hirt. I've seen him beat the officials to the side shield to open it to see what was on fire. And the officials was like 20 feet away, and he was on the scene. But that is the beauty of a Jeff Hirt. He's fast, he's quick, and he's a damn good driver. Yes,
we take a different approach than a lot of pullers, especially in the big tractor class. I try really hard to keep the front low and make a more controlled pass rather than getting the front way high and bouncing and all that, but it doesn't always work. But we've been pretty lucky with the way we approach it. It's really important, the condition of the track, more so just the hope of it being consistent to where we can make good pass and everybody gets a fair shake at it, you know. I don't like winning a pull or getting beat at a pull because the track changed a lot. You know, it just, unfortunately, it's part of the sport. It's not a fun part of the sport. The mini rod's kind of a never-ending tire monster. It's always needing fed tires and sharpen them and pay attention to them, and it's really key in that class. I think the tires are more critical. There's less room for error on the tire side in the mini class between crashing or making a nice pass. Right. And I've done both. One thing back in, I don't know, I was probably 15 years old. I remember an old puller from Michigan. He told about when he was getting into the two-wheel drive class. He says, well, how much time does it take? He says, well, take all your spare time, multiply it by 2, and that's just half enough. And boy, was he right.
Yeah.
It becomes, the sport's more of a life for all the guys that are doing well in it. I mean, it's because of their devotion, their time, their effort, and the great crew they have helping them, the sponsors. It takes the whole gamut to make it all work. We got good people in the shop. It's mostly family now. We got a lot of good customers. We got really good help on the farm when we need it. It's just takes a lot of people to step up and help in the empty spots.
Because you really don't have much time in the summertime to be there, do you?
Not much.
No.
A favorite story, I mean, there's just so many stories of how these groups all work together. I mean, David and Chase's guys were up fishing by us the other day and wound up, I needed help getting vehicles up here. They pull into the motorhome, they jump in my truck with the 2 mini rods in it and bring it up here for me from the lake up to here. Cool. But that's just a daily occurrence. I mean, it's just kind of the way the sport is. We all help each other, and I don't care whether it's on the track or off. Some of them want to act like we're brutal enemies on the track.
Well,
not really. Do I want to beat them? Yeah, but you know what? I do anything to help them beat me. So, just kind of the way it works.